call for you. We're doing a hybrid team, so I have some folks that are gonna be trickling in through Zoom and then others live in here. All right, I think we're good.
Awesome.
Talk not.
Who's there?
I don't have a joke. So I appreciate you guys coming in today. There's gonna be some folks that are gonna be jumping in via Zoom, joining us, and then some that will be watching the recording. I appreciate you allowing us to do that. So Jenny reached out to us last year, right? We're around the storm, we're just after the storm, and Jenny runs a marketing company. So, you know, backtracking, I don't want to take too much from your introduction, but tell me if I got this right, from Minnesota.
Yep.
That's cold.
It's very cold.
Your parents run a pretty good sized real estate team.
Yep.
I saw you on their website as one of the team members, so
Yep.
that's pretty cool. So you're a realtor and you have a marketing company.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, and you have investment properties down here.
Yep.
Which is why you're here.
Yeah.
And so, you know, why not do some teaching while you're down here and hopefully make some referral connections. So if you are ever needing to send a referral to the Minnesota area, maybe you can tell us where exactly in
Yep,
Minnesota, because I don't know where any of that is. I know where the Best Buy corporate office is. Is that close to you?
I think.
Okay. Corporate office?
East area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Okay, yeah.
So that's your referral partner now in that area. So thank you so much for coming in today. Social media, as everyone knows, is a pretty big part of our real estate business. And today you're going to teach us how to do it now in this market that we're going into. So thank you for being a part.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jordis. Everyone has been super welcoming so far. You guys even have a cute little sign for me downstairs. I loved it. So like Jordis said, my name is Jenny Friday. I have been in real estate with Keller Williams, my favorite. I will rave about Keller Williams all day, every day. For 10 years, going on 11 now. My parents are both realtors. I got in when I was in college. My dad needed help because he was growing his business. Said, hey, do you want to show homes for $25 an hour? And I was sold. That was gold mine back in college. Did sales, did admin work, was the director of operations for our team, did some marketing. Around COVID time, 2020, I was getting real burnt out of working with buyers. So I decided to take a pause on selling real estate. Took a little bit of time to figure out what I wanted to do. Knew I was really loving the social media aspect. And so decided to pair my industry knowledge in real estate with social media marketing, because I saw that realtors had no idea what they were doing in social media, which is okay. That's why we're here, right? So we're going to talk today about how to shift your social media marketing strategy in this shifting market. If you're like, I don't have a social media strategy, that is okay. That's what we're here for. So we'll go through it a little bit at a time. So you are in the right place. If you are burnt out of door knocking, cold calling, and buying leads, you understand the power of social media, but you just don't know where to begin. You need a little guidance. And if you want to grow your social media marketing strategy to win your unfair share of the market during the shift, you are in the wrong place. If you don't want more leads, believe it or not, there are agents out there. If you aren't willing to do the follow-up, you can bring in all the leads you want on social media. You can do it through door knocking, cold calling, etc. But if you're not doing the follow-up, you're not going to get the sale. And then the third reason would be you're planning to exit the business in the near future. You still could, but I would invest a whole lot of time in starting a whole new strategy of lead gen if you haven't already. So today we are going to talk about the top 3 mistakes I see realtors making on social media, the steps to create a solid social media strategy, and then how to not just survive the shift, but thrive through it. So how many of you in here, and sorry to the Zoom folks, if you want to put it in the chat, how do you guys feel on your social media right now? Are you like, I know social media, I got this, I'm just here for some extra tips? Yeah, okay, you got it.
Oh,
No?
Question or just.
Yeah, no, go for
Okay,
it.
yeah, I'm gonna say I used to feel really confident, but the reels kind of thrown me off, and I was reading about the new algorithm, and posting reels.
Yeah,
So I feel like that's a big shift with social media recently.
it definitely
Everything
is.
else like,
Yep, videos have been a big push over the last few years, and short form videos like Reels and TikToks for sure. We'll get to that too. So awesome. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else want to share kind of where they're at? Like totally new?
I was in New Hampshire market for years and years, and social media was just that one more push that was keeping me in contact with a lot of my people.
Yeah.
And I could do other things, but that was my way of finding out what was happening with those lives and things. now I'm trying to have a business there, but also a business in Florida. And having to figure out how to jump in with people here that I haven't been in contact with my whole life, that you know, my kids didn't go to school. with
Yeah.
my kids. I just like meeting on the street because we're walking our dogs.
Yeah. So you don't have a sphere built here yet. So that's a great way to do it, is getting a hold of local people through social media. Awesome. Anyone else?
Kind of what she said earlier, I mean, I've been very active on social media. My first sale actually came from social media 3 years ago, but I feel like after COVID, it dramatically changed. And trying to keep up is changing all the time, and same thing like with the reels and stuff. I can do them, but I'm not great at them.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't really know how to translate a reel into, you know, like posting and looking at other people's posts on the local site. You know, I'm comfortable with that, but how do you transition those reels into possible leads?
Yeah.
That's what I would be curious to know.
Okay, awesome. Hi, welcome.
Staying consistent, and getting out of your own way,
Yeah.
because sometimes I'll go on a high of like, I'll post like crazy this week, and then I just don't fucking it.
Yep.
And we know that doesn't help the algorithm.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyone else you want to share? Okay, so I'm gonna give you all permission right now. There's like 1,000 bajillion squirrels you can chase in the real estate industry, right? Like you probably have trainers in here all the time selling you a new product or a new lead source. It's overwhelming and we all just get stuck in analysis paralysis and we don't move forward. So simplicity is key. Consistency is great, but like just small consistency over time rather than, like Jordan said, all or nothing kind of mindset where you're posting every day for a week, then you're like, crap, and it's plan out the next 2 weeks and you do nothing. But even if you do that, keep going, you know, just keep going and keep it simple. So we're going to break it down, my entire process. During this course, if you guys want to share on Instagram, you can either take a picture in here or yourself or your notes. Tag me at Social Realtor, REEL, like real on Instagram. I would send freebies to anyone who tags me on there. So same with Zoom friends. Just make sure to tag me on there. And then you can post your biggest takeaways at the end of the class or during, so that other people can learn a little bit too. So the top 3 mistakes I see realtors making on social media. Number 1, they're posting super generic real estate content. Just listed, coming soon, just sold signed with their clients, right? You see the same thing over and over. Maybe it's templated posts from brokerages, or maybe you're paying for a templated service. Being on there is better than not. And you need to be a human. You can't just post all these graphics and sell. You need to provide value and put the human behind that content that you're putting out there. Because nobody just wants to work with a for sale sign. They want to work with you as a human that they know, like, and trust. The second one is making it all about them. So as realtors, we can win awards within our market centers. We can get, you know, photo shoots done. We can sell the luxury homes and feel just like on top of the world. We just got this huge commission check, and then you're posting and bragging all about yourself. I see a lot of people posting about like the charity work they're doing. It can be great to an extent. Do talk about your successes, but don't make it all about you. That's not what people are on your feed for. They don't come on there to see what award you won that week. They came to get the value and to understand what's going on in real estate, what's going on in the real estate market, what's happening with interest rates, it's shifting. What does that mean for me, right? So make sure to include valuable content for your consumers, not to be all about you and showing off. And then the last one is not infusing themselves into their strategy at all. So just posting homes and graphics without showing their face ever. A lot of people are scared to show their faces. It's intimidating, right? If you're not used to it being on camera, it's a little bit scary. One of the biggest things winning out in the algorithm right now is authenticity. So showing up just as you are as a human. Will be honest, I work from home most days. I don't even do my hair and makeup and put clothes on. But I will still show up in my stories because that's what people relate to, right? Like we are working from home a lot of the time, and we don't just get ready for ourselves often. So just show up. Don't worry about being overly perfect. You can drop that to the whole curated, aesthetically pleasing feeds. Drop those. You don't need to do that. You just need to show up as a human and provide value to others. If you do follow me on Instagram, I do have a full 30 mistakes realtors are making on social media and what to do instead. I have a whole series of it, so you can go through those. Those are reels I talk in more depth. So here are some generic graphics that we don't do. And I will just disclaim all of these examples are either myself or my parents' team, so I can make fun of them. It was in the past before I knew what I was doing. So these are just some examples of kinds of posts you might see on realtor social media, right? They all look pretty standard. We probably made them on Canva. The first one there under contract, well, great. We're talking about 2 properties under contract to start the week. That's 1, tooting our own horns. 2, what value is that to anyone that's just scrolling through our feed? And 3, it just kind of looks salesy, right? Like you just look at it and you're like, they're trying to sell to me. I would scroll right by that. The second one is for a first-time home buying seminar. So it is valuable. That's great. However, there's so much on that small little graphic. It's only a small square. Most of the time people are looking at it on their phones. So you can see I put my business card and my vendor's business information on the corners there. And then all of the like details in the bottom right corner, like you guys probably can't even read it from here. So it's pretty generic too. It's not like, why would anyone want to go to that unless they can.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll take it right in the middle. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry. And then the pot of gold. So on pretty much every holiday, you will see realtors saying, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Easter, and nothing else. And nothing makes me want to scroll faster than that, right? Like it's just blah. It's that. So if you're going to post with holidays, post them with a purpose. Maybe where the best Easter egg hunts are in your local area. That's a really valuable post. It's related to it. You can still say Happy Easter to your clients, your followers, but you're giving them value attached to it. For St. Patrick's Day, maybe it's the best place to find or celebrate. Maybe there's parades or great place to get beer, whatever it is. You can share that type of stuff on your holiday. Always make sure the holiday aligns with who you are as a person. Like if you celebrate that holiday, great, post about it. But if it's like Hanukkah and you don't celebrate, then do not post about it unless you have good intentions behind it. We really want to stay true to who we are, what our values are, and not just throw things out there to throw things out there. This is an example of what to do. I'm going to play it so it goes kind of quick. A little awkward with that volume, but okay. Well, you can see it. It's a quick reel, right? It gives all the information really quickly. You guys are like, I couldn't read all that in that time. Well, that's great. That's why I did it, because then they're going to keep watching it on a loop over and over and over until they get that, or they might screenshot it, which then the algorithm is going to tell them that like people are engaging with my post, they like it, they're staying on that content longer. But really the point is that I'm educating my audience. So it's first time home buyers have that common misconception that they need 20% down to buy their home. Well, here I am educating them on a few different loan options that you don't need 20% down. A good one to do this with is like you could partner with a lender and do collaboration posts, which is where you see 2 people posting, goes on both of your feeds. So where it says sold by Friday, it would say like sold by Friday and Jenny Friday as an example, posted it. And then it would be on both your lender's feed and your personal feed. So it's a great way to partner with a local lender and promote their business. But then in turn, you're also getting on their feed. So it's double the exposure to your content. So work with your vendor partners on those types of things. And then it's video, it's quick, consumable, people like that. Making it all about you. Again, the one on the left, it's our team. That's my dad on the left. So we're saying hot off the press, we won this award in our brokerage. Cool, right? Again, shooting our own horn, doesn't matter. And then the one on the right was me back in like 2016. I was saying I sold 4 homes. Woo. Yeah.
Or post, I mean.
Yep.
Because, so like I have my personal page and then I have my realtor page that I'm trying to, that like share the posts with, certain other places and I'm trying to, hopefully get some calls or whatever from that. So I'm kind of torn about this whole idea because I feel like if they don't see that you're helping people, that you are having sales or listings, and it's just all just other content like, oh, well, does she have,
Yeah.
but like, what's your take on that?
Yep, so that's actually my next, let me show you this one and then we'll get to that one. So don't make it all about you, right? And then you want to give knowledge out like free candy. So when you're making it all about you, you want to more show your successes rather than tell people you're successful. So instead of saying, I'm number 2 in my brokerage, it's I got to help this family overcome a huge obstacle, and here's how we did it, without probably naming the family unless they give you permission. But it's telling the stories. And then on Instagram, you can show up with your stories behind the scenes, showing that you're out at listing presentations, that you're at an inspection. So it's showing them and it's telling a story about what you're doing rather than just being like, hey, I'm awesome, Does that make more sense?
It does.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I think that's, for me earlier on, that's kind of where I lost the drive to want to do it, because I just felt like it was very bragging.
Yeah.
One of the teams that I follow, they're very big on just what you just said, stories. It's never, yes, it's about them.
Yeah.
It's the way they tell the story.
Yep.
That's the difference maker. And there's emotions, there's, it's always connected to some emotion, some experience that they create for the seller.
Absolutely. And no, please don't. Please engage as you want. I don't think I said that at the beginning. Stories That Stick by Kindra Hall, Kinvra. Really good storytelling book. I really like that one. And then Copy That Sells. I think that's something Edwards, I forget. 2 good social media book recommendations. And yeah, Jordan, to that point, I'm here and what I'm doing is I'm showing people behind the scenes of my renovation here for my rental property, rather than being like, look at me, I have a rental property in Florida. That would be obnoxious, that would be braggy, and people would be like so turned off by it. But when I show them the process of like, this is what it started with, we're tearing down a wall of mirrors, which I did the other day. It was horrible, don't ever do it. But people got invested then, and they're like, oh, what happened with the mirror wall? What are you gonna do next? They buy into your story, they feel connected to you, it's authentic. It's not just the showing it once it's perfectly curated and crafted. That makes sense? So again, we're giving knowledge and education.
Here we go, now one. Nothing wrong with me, 2, nothing wrong with me, 3, nothing wrong with me, 4, nothing wrong with me.
Do you think we can get audio for the dad jokes at least? We'll see. Don't stress. Oh wait, here, look. Put that up in settings. Let's see. Okay. Any questions on that while we switch the audio? You guys feel like you got a good handle on that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you recommend like on a personal Instagram account? Do you recommend like starting with a new one for like only real estate stuff? Or-
Yes, so that's a great question. Did you want me to click it and see?
Here we go, now one. Nothing wrong
No
with
big
me,
deal. Okay, so personal versus business accounts, that's a great question. I get asked that all the time. On Instagram, I recommend just having one, combine it. It's a lot of work to run too. I, again, am a big believer in simplicity. I think we are so overwhelmed with stuff coming at us that if we can
Nothing wrong with me, 3, nothing wrong with me, 4, nothing wrong with
platforms, but if you're doing Instagram and Facebook, you can kind of correlate them, you can connect the accounts. What I see most people doing, and I would recommend like have a personal Facebook page and then a business page, and then connect your Instagram as like personal/business to your Facebook page.
Here we go.
So again, with the authenticity too, if you're a completely different person in your personal life than you are in your professional life, it comes off as inauthentic, right? That you're who you are as a human and a realtor should overlap. They shouldn't be 2 totally separate people. And there is a level of professionalism that you have in your personal life versus your professional, but also to be able to show that human, you need to show personal are rather than just like the professional.
Oh, here we go now.
There we go. Now you can dance on. Any questions on that?
I combined, like, I had my personal Instagram and I started one for my real business. So I don't really even use my personal one anymore, so in effect, I am.
Yeah.
using my real one as everything. But I have a lot of different followers that was on my original.
Yep.
Is there a way to connect those two and just become one?
You
know?
can't merge them, but that's a good thing for a couple reasons. So number one, it's kind of like emails. You want people to opt in. You want people to want to follow you because you don't want to like bait and switch them. For example, my personal page, I have two because I've had this personal page since I was in college. And I went from like, I was like just random college stuff. To then I was in real estate. I sold wine for a little bit. Now I'm sober. So the algorithm's like, what the hell are you doing, girl? But all those people opted into me as a person, not necessarily those businesses. So then if all of a sudden I was like social media marketing on that page, they'd be like, I don't need to promote a business. I work a 9-to-5 corporate, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you don't want to like bait and switch them. However, you can promote your business page on your personal stories and maybe just be like, hey, if you want any real estate content, tips, tricks, local happenings, head over to this page and give it a follow. And so when you have that opt-in, again, those people who opted in, they want to be there. So they're going to follow and they're going to engage. And then it's not kind of that. So yeah, that would be my best recommendation for that. You're welcome. And then here you can see, this was at one point when somebody was running our social media, probably my dad, where it's just a bunch of really ugly house photos. Like this is a really ugly A-frame house and he probably just was promoting them one at a time and Instagram was new. There's no human, right? Like, do you want to work with this A-frame house? I don't. Like, it's just not that exciting. So make sure to put yourself in there. Brand photography is huge right now. So that is where you're kind of more like lifestyle photos rather than just like stone cold headshot. If you look at my page, I have them all over. You're kind of sipping a cup of coffee, you're on your laptop, you're on your phone, etc. So it really brings the human back into it again. Yeah.
So somewhere I learned, your social media, like what is the brand you want to create? So like outside of the real estate posts, like I wanted to brand myself as a father, a husband, a dog lover, and then a car guy. Like that was my brand outside of real estate. What do you say about that? Like creating a brand outside of that?
Yeah, for sure. So those are probably like what I consider brand pillars. So you kind of have 5 different categories. So yes, it is important to kind of select those. We'll dive deeper into that in the future. So I don't want to go too deep into it right now.
Okay.
But yes, in general, having those personal things as well, your father and all of that is who you are as a person. So do it, infuse your personality. Here's a great.
What did the hamburger call her daughter? Patty. What did the
That's my dad. He's infamous for his terrible dad jokes. So in having these dad jokes on his real estate page, people drawn to that. It's not me. I hate it. It's so annoying after 30 years of it. I'm like, shut up. But everyone else is like, that's hilarious. What he's gonna do is make dad jokes when he's showing houses or at a listing consult. It's who he is. He can't help himself. It's just in his nature. So you know when you're following that, if you find that funny and you feel connected to that, it's more relatable than just like, hey, I'm a funny dude. I sell real estate. That's gonna connect people. People wait for the dad joke of the week every week. So infuse your personality. If dad jokes are it, great. Do a dad joke of the week. If not, then do whatever is unique to you. So this is what I call the Friday formula. It is the 5 steps I say to really get your social media strategy set. So we're going to set the foundation, add your unique branding like we talked about, Jordan, develop a content creation strategy, take your time back for efficient lead gen, and then turn those followers into clients, right? Get them to the closing table. That's what we want. So the foundation, really mindset is key in everything. You're with Keller, so you already know that. You know what that means, right? Stop trying to do it all. We talked about that. I recommend getting on one platform. Instead of trying to do TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, pick one and stick with it. My recommendation, my absolute favorite is Instagram. The reason for that being older generation tends to be on Facebook, younger generation tends to be on TikTok. Right in the middle, you kind of get both of them. The other reason is that it's the easiest platform to repurpose onto other platforms. So if you're going to make an Instagram reel, you can download that and upload it onto Facebook, or you can connect your accounts like we had talked about. You could repurpose that as a YouTube short or a TikTok. But again, we'll get to repurposing in a little bit. Focus on one platform, get really good at it, the one thing, right? Pick one, do it at a high level, stop trying to do all of the platforms at a mediocre level, get stuck in analysis paralysis, find one and do that. And then coming from contribution. So we're switching our whole mindset around just selling. If you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, give me a call. And we are just providing value. You guys have so much knowledge in your head as real estate professionals that you don't even realize the general population doesn't know. Think about what you're talking about in your buyer's consultations, at your listing presentations. Maybe if you do webinars or seminars, everything you're teaching people on a daily basis is content that you can use on your social media to teach people there. And then last but not least, understand where you're currently at. So those of you who tag me on my Instagram story, I will send a free self Instagram audit. You can go through and check, make sure that you have all of those things done on your profile so that when people come to your page, they know what to do. Otherwise, I'll share it at the end, but I do a one-time audit and strategy consultation as well. Take the water quick.
What's kind of known where you're at, so depending, so you said the big thing, so is just pick the platform, figure out
Yep.
whether it's gonna be Facebook, Instagram. And then you're starting a LinkedIn page, is that what you said, or you have one?
How like a personal one?
When you say keep that, so when you say keep that one, then just start, build off of that page?
You can do it either, like, so. Yeah, you really can do it either way. The one, like, again, starting a new page, you get all those opt-ins and those people are really engaging. So like the algorithm's really pushing that right now. It's not gonna be like, oh, they don't have any followers, that page is crap. They're gonna see, this is a new page and they're already getting people flowing in and they're posting consistently with good value. So it's kind of, you kind of have to see. I do say combine to one on Instagram, unless you have a lot of time and you really love doing it, which most people I find do not. Even myself, I have a personal and a business, like I said, because my personal was all over the place. I really wanted to focus on social media marketing for realtors, and I wanted to talk only about that, which would have applied to most of my personal people. But my account grew pretty quickly because I was targeting a specific audience, and the algorithm saw that realtors were interested in what I had to say. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So flavor is step 2, where we talk about branding. So most people, when they hear branding, they think colors, fonts, and logos. Those are important. We do want to have a consistent flavor across all of our platforms. As you can see in my presentation, you'll see the same font colors, type of like my brand photos, etc. But that's not who I am. Again, that's just kind of the aesthetics of it. Really who your ideal audience is, and your messaging, what your values are, who you are, what you want to be known for, that's your brand, right? You're not just a realtor, you do a lot more than real estate. Like Jordan said, the father, your puppy lover, right? What else with the car? I wouldn't have guessed that.
I have a Frenchie as well.
Oh, cute. But see, that like makes you a lot more relatable. Somebody's on the here. Let me grab that. And just being authentic to who you are as a person. Again, it comes back to that, knowing what your values are, who you stand or what you stand for and what you want to be known for, but also like bringing the human into the professional. Did that answer your question?
It did. I think for me, over the years of me, when I was just selling, is that I wanted to attract like-minded people. So if they were into cars, opening, which dogs, stuff like that. That's who I wanted to work with. So I mean, that was my take on it. So
Yeah.
generally, if I connect with them, it's because we had that in common. And generally, that's a better connection when it comes to business. So
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing you can do is kind of infuse that stuff. Like, do you bring your Frenchie out on business trips with you? Bring them into the office? Okay, well, if you did, that would be a great example.
Well, here's an example of like, I tell people during COVID when we shut down, I was only selling real estate at that time. And then we finally started opening back up a little bit. That year, I used social media at a higher level. Just an example, I went to a car show on a Sunday, and it was at the Naples Motorsports. So if you guys know, the Ferrari and the Lambos and all that, and there was like literally a row of Skittles colors. I'm like, this is kind of cool picture. So I just did a video walkthrough,
Oh,
and it
cool.
was, hey, which color would you pick? And that was what I posted as an engagement for that reel. And then I just started messaging people randomly who didn't answer me and said, hey, so I saw my post, which color did you pick? And that's how I engage with strangers, and just so many stories like that that led to ultimately doing business. Because when you connect with somebody like that, I never leave with, oh, by the way, I sell real estate. I
Yep.
leave with, hey, so hey, come in by yourself, or, oh, I see you're a mechanic. How long you been doing that? And it always leads to them saying, oh, well, what do you do?
Yep.
And obviously they know what I do, because now they can see my feed and find that. And that's, I use the car show as a connector.
Yeah, it's perfect. And you're gonna find people, you're gonna draw in the people you want. So your ideal audience is who you want to work with. You don't want to work with the ones, for us in the Twin Cities, Minnesota, Duluth is like way up north. We don't want to be driving there. We want to refer that business away. We also don't want those clients that make us get to our burnout point. That is why I stopped selling real estate. It's a license, but you will have those clients, they'll come and go. But the more you're marketing towards your ideal audience, the more you're going to have those awesome clients. So think about who that, like, your favorite client ever that you're just like, why can't everyone be like you? Think about who they are and how you market directly to them, right? So with that too, the kind of, I think you're probably referring to, like, people call them pillars or brand categories. So I recommend doing 5 different categories, and we'll dive deeper into that. But think about yourself and what 5 categories kind of represent you. So if it's real estate, if it's maybe you play a sport, maybe you love a food, maybe you're like known for your home organization tips. A lot of like my realtor clients are also interior designers, or I have one that's a minimalist. Whatever you are, whoever you are, what's unique to you, and how can you kind of divide that up? Family, church, whatever it is. So then here is where we do the flow. This is my favorite part. Do you have a formula I could use? Oh, sorry, I should have asked that before. So we're gonna actually go through this together, and we're gonna use the month of February as an example. So this is my entire process of how I create a month's worth of content in an hour. Actually, usually less, but we will start with this today.
A month and an hour?
Yeah, you ready for it? All right, we're gonna do it in like 5 minutes. So the month of February, what do you think of when you hear the month of February? Throw up.
Arts.
Keep going.
Northern visitors.
Chocolate. Those northerners. What else?
Restaurants. Okay,
Flowers.
horse.
Children's
Your
party,
significant
other.
Thinking about family reunion.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Cato the other thing.
I'm trying to decide if I want to go.
Ski break.
Yeah.
Tea break, we do the opposite. That's so
It is
funny.
very popular in this town.
I believe
The
it.
school shut down.
Go skiing.
Oh my gosh, really? I love it. Okay, I think I missed one. Was there another one?
Flowers, yeah.
Your significant.
Oh, yeah. Say like candles. Cupid. Anything else that you guys can think of? Okay, so this is step 1, and it seems tedious, but I promise you, the second you actually start doing this, your mind just starts going into creative mode. You start brainstorming in a way, it flips the switch. I don't know the science why, but it does. So each month you're gonna think about what's relevant to that month, what's going on, because we're not gonna be talking about ski break in the middle of summer, right? Probably, maybe I'm wrong. We aren't gonna talk about coming down to Florida in the middle of our summer, because we like our summer in Minnesota, that's why we live there. But think about what's applicable. The other thing you can do is think about what events you have coming up. So family reunion's a great one. Maybe you have like a client event coming up. Maybe you have like something local going on that you know about. Think about those, and I would jot those down too. One tip that I also have is that I do all my brainstorming on paper. So I have those like giant fan sticky notes. You know what I'm talking about, for, like poster size. And I just do this on the wall and I get creative on paper and then I organize it digitally after. For whatever reason, my mind can get more creative if it's on paper. Do whatever works for you, but that's just one little tip for me. Research, you're gonna be watching Instagram Reels, TikTok, looking at what's going on out there, what the trends are. Now, when you do your research, that doesn't mean spend a week on the couch scrolling through TikTok. I would love it if I could do that, but we need to set a timer. So set a limit, like, hey, 20 minutes, I'm gonna just watch these and I'm gonna start taking notes of what I'm liking, what I'm seeing out there. So you can keep a notes app in your phone. You can just like write down on a piece of paper as you're researching. My favorite is I use what's called Trello. It's just a project management system. There's a free version and a paid version. I pay for it, but you don't have to. I plan out all my content on there. It's a super visual way to see all your content. It's how I work with my clients as well, but do whatever works for you. If you have a task management system, maybe Command, you could like set up probably a way in Command.
You do task and you use a social media. Like,
Yeah, there you go. And then just like write in your notes. So as you come across like an audio and you want to use that for a future reel, you can save the audio on Instagram and then there's going to be a folder on your saved of like, hey, these are audios I wanted to do. So then you know later. Okay, so then the next thing is we're going to outline, and Jordan, you're going to be our example. So your 5 categories you said, one was real estate.
dogs, boats, family man, cars.
Okay. So we're gonna think of these 5 categories as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay? You do not have to stick with that. It's just gonna make your life a lot easier. When Monday comes, you're like, what the hell do I wanna post about? Well, I gotta talk about real estate today. Maybe I could do a market statistic, okay? So that's gonna be one. So maybe you get even more in depth on that, but maybe you're gonna do like what's happening in the market one day a week. Knowing your ideal audience is really gonna narrow this in. So who do you target when it comes to real estate? Agents probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna wanna talk about like the culture in your office, YKW, probably family reunion is gonna be a really big one for you. And so with like the market stat for, if you're talking to like buyers, you would probably want to do a more buyer focused market stat, but for you, you're going to want to talk about like, well, maybe like a quote from the book Shift, or why like this market is, you're going to survive through this market, how you can give a tip on like how agents can do better through a shifting market. So we'll just call it Shift for now. And then one more you could do is, and then maybe it's just like an inspirational.
Or other than agent, maybe.
Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. And then for dogs, we can think about like the best dog parks to take your dog to in Marco Island. We can talk about how to find a home that your dog is in love with, or your dog is in love. Again, this is a little agent side, but so they can see. Maybe it's a statistic about how millennials are buying homes for their dogs, because it's true and it's out there somewhere. I've used it before. And then maybe you could relate to like why real estate is like owning a Frenchie, why owning a home is like owning a Frenchie, something like that. You could get kind of creative. Okay.
I'm gonna wait to hear that one.
No pressure, you got to do all of that. No. Okay, and then for boats, is there anything that like maybe you're taking your agents out on a boat cruise? You're welcome, you guys. No, I'm just kidding. maybe there's like some kind of fun Valentine's Day cruise that you could recommend locally.
Well, like there was a boat show this weekend. so
Oh, yeah.
I highlighted that.
Boat show.
What do you want to put, like the waterways of Marco or
Yeah.
like the bridge heights?
Rich Heights is good.
Yeah. You know, depending where you hang out, know the bridge heights.
Enough fun local sandbars,
There you go.
Yes. How many have you found?
restaurants, how many
How many
water,
have you found, you know?
yeah,
There you go.
how many, waterfront restaurants that you can pull up when you go.
Just make sure you like, so now you have to go to all those restaurants and boat shows and write them off as business expense because you had to do your market research. And then family, right? Like maybe it's something like this, like your wife, and then maybe it's something about how like you want to love the home you're in for Valentine's Day.
Could he put something like if he made a new bed for his daughter or something, would you add that? Would you incorporate that or no? You
Yeah,
brought it?
absolutely. Like that's
Okay.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're still gonna incorporate the brainstorm list. We're not even there yet.
So this is just what gets your mind onto,
February.
so that's why I say like fall in
So
love
it's
with.
tied to that, I got you.
and, yeah, and family reunion is kind of tied in there, so. And then one more for family man, maybe it's like just a general family one.
Yeah, I guess in this case with Valentine's, though, like, hey, where do you take your
Yeah,
house to Valentine's?
Yeah,
Here's some-
Valentine's resolutions or something.
yeah,
Just to-
definitely, or like if there's any like tasting menus in the area. Or if there's like places kids can eat free on Valentine's Day, people love that stuff. So utilize it. If you're a family person, talk about families, if that's who your ideal audience is.
So how are you best using this, like more to the real or just regular?
A mix. I would say whatever you can commit to. If you are not doing reels right now, do not say, I'm gonna do a reel for each one of these. That is super overwhelming. And there's a few different ways you can post, so I don't remember if I have this in here, but there's a static post, which is just a still photo, right? There is what's called a carousel, so that's when you have to swipe to see more. Those are really popular right now. If you don't use it yet, use Canva, C-A-N-V-A. It's a really easy way to make graphics. You can plug in your brand kit, so you can have all your fonts and colors there. You can use them. So many templates for anything. I do professional, because I'm hosting multiple clients on there. You could very easily get away with free. However, they have a lot of really good like stock photos and elements that it's worth it. It's not very expensive. Yeah. Yeah, Canva, I would say use the pro. There's a lot of fonts and stuff too, now that I think about it, that you can't use on. But you can also make reels on Canva now. So if you type in literally anything you want to post on the top search bar of Canva, they will have it. So if you want to do a presentation for realtors, I will find a template for that on here. If I wanted to find a, let's see, a reel about, like if I want to do a quote on a reel, I could find a reel that's templated that way and I just switch out the quote for what I wanted. Anything, super simple. You also can search under their elements, like any home. You can look at photos or videos and you can click and drag those in. So you know how like there's a pan of a really pretty house and then they're like sharing some text over top of that on a reel. You can do that right on Canva. I can show you guys some of that at the end if we have extra time. So, okay, then we're gonna do cars. Any car shows or anything like that?
A big one.
Oh.
I expect to see there.
Maybe you do something funny like a cool car in the office parking lot. Maybe you were hosting like a trunk party for your clients. Or for your agents. So people can come tailgate outside. Maybe you can talk about like the most practical cars for,
Real estate agents.
yeah.
So you guys know you don't have to go out of the electric car to be a great agent.
Oh,
You don't, to be clear, you don't have to, right? You can't leave.
I've been doing it all wrong though. I can't escape. Have a bad one or a good one?
Really nice, 37, little red sports car. Great, my daughter's driving it now, so. But yeah, so she was my friend, and I signed color under her.
Oh my gosh, I
I
love
was like,
it.
you gotta give me the car.
It's funny because Bill Williams didn't have the nicest car, $7 million property. Now he's got his nice Mercedes, but he built up to fit it on. But he had a hard time.
Well,
with church.
And realtors know the difference in investing in a home versus investing in a vehicle, so, you know. Sometimes it's just practicality.
Yeah.
Wanting to build wealth. Okay, so you see how quickly we did that? Like, that's, obviously, I just threw those out there. You're not gonna use all of them, maybe well, let's like take a picture, use it as your outline, I'll be like. Yeah, go ahead. So when you're doing it like this, you pick your 5 categories, and for you, maybe it's 3, maybe 5 is really overwhelming, you don't want to push the needle yet, maybe it's 2 or 3. Pick those categories and then break it down. A really easy way to do things is like, maybe 1 month you're gonna focus on like buyer tips, and then the next month you're gonna focus on sellers, and then investors, and then maybe you're gonna talk about the market 1 month. And so instead of like 4 different like real estate related posts, you could do buyers series. So today we're going to talk about the steps of a home buying process, and then it's going to be how much money do we need to invest in, have for a down payment, what vendors I recommend you get in contact with for the home buying process, why a home inspection is super important. So think that way. It makes things so much easier than trying to just be like blank slate. I have no idea where to go. Also, smaller manageable pieces rather than trying to explain everything in one time. Number 1, it's more easy to consume for the consumer. And number 2, it's a lot easier for you to create. So if you're going to talk about down payments, you can do a quick reel like I did in the example before, rather than being like, the reason that people have told you you need 20% down is because way in the past, blah, blah, blah. And then you talk about mortgage insurance, and then you talk about why, like, you're going to overwhelm them talking about too much. So break it down into like, hey, you don't have to have 20% down. Here's some options. Okay, and then next week, we're going to talk about like, hey, if you do have 20% down, then it'll knock off your mortgage insurance. And then maybe the next week, it's like, hey, if you hit that 20% threshold to a certain loan, it could get waived. You should check with your bank and see where you're at. Those different ways of doing it, it breaks it down into like what a down payment looks like, what you need to know. Maybe you do a credit repair series. All sorts of different ways you can go. But you get my point. When you break it down like this, so simple. A lot of people will do like Money Mondays, Wealth Wednesdays. I think it's a little like cheesy, but do what you want. They don't only have to be posted on Monday. So don't like get stuck like I can only post about real estate on Monday. This structure here is just to make it really simple for you guys to be able to like come up with content when you're stuck. So we've outlined it, okay? Then we're gonna capture it. So like I said, I do not do my hair and makeup every day or get actual clothes on. I'm usually in leggings and a workout tank. I walk on a treadmill now. My desk is amazing. If you don't have one, get one. TikTok. But today I got dressed for y'all. I got my makeup on. So when I go home, I'm gonna film a couple of videos. I am like, I'm ready to go. So I have my energy high. I try and do these things on high energy days. And I'm gonna capture a bunch right in a row. So like if you're out and about and maybe you want to just hit a bunch of like local restaurants or coffee shops and just film a bunch or take some photos. Maybe you're just out on the town and you want to just bop around for the day, capture those, talk to the camera, get a nice tripod like this. It's simple, set it up, have your friends or your family or your spouse hold the camera for you, whatever it looks like. Capture it all in one day, batch content. You don't have to do a whole month's worth in one day. You can swap a shirt out and just like pretend I'm in a different outfit, it's a different day. I do it. I teach people to do it. It's way easier than trying to show up every single day, because every single day you are not going to have the energy to show up. And every single day you're going to have a showing that popped up or an inspection fire that you have to put out. All these things that just are gonna pull you. So if you're prepared in advance, then you have it ready. So decide whether you're gonna do it maybe weekly or monthly. And then creating. So you're gonna create graphics on Canva. You can do all that at once. And then if you're going to, schedule things out. So then schedule, right? So Facebook Business Suite is a free scheduling tool. So if you go facebook.com/creator studio, or if you go on to Facebook on your business page, it'll say like Meta Business Suite, and from there you can schedule posts. I think it is the least user-friendly tool. If you're gonna schedule, I'm just being honest. I would buy a scheduler. I use Metricool because you can schedule reels, but there's also like Planoly later. There's a bunch of different apps you can purchase to schedule things out. So like if you created this all at the beginning of the month, then you can just schedule it out. Then all you have to do for the month is like engage with people and just talk to people. Then it's not like I have to post and I have to create it and I have to talk to people. It's that part's done. Now you can do the part where you're really engaging. When you do the schedule up front, don't obsess over time. I get asked that all the time. It's the best time to post. Yeah, it's like one of my top questions. And it doesn't matter, because if you are here and you're still lost on social media, the time of day you post doesn't matter. People put so much time and energy into those things like, what hashtag should I post and what time of day should I post? And is this perfect? And did I get this all right? And when like somebody else is out there and they took a quick video in their pajamas and got that content out and got a client because of it. So eventually, once you get the hang of social media, once you're like, yes, I'm confident on the one platform I chose, then you can start diving into your analytics and your insights and seeing like, oh, 5 p.m. on Monday nights is when my audience is engaging the most. In general, if you get a post out there, it's at the good time. If it's valuable, it's a good post. Any other questions from that? And how are we doing on time? Okay. Focus. So time management, batching, and leverage. When we get on social media, like I said, we can get stuck into a rabbit hole of watching and just binging other people's content. Like I said, set a timer and do your research during that time block when you're going to do your batching your content, making it all at once. And then leverage. So if you don't have time to do it all, find a virtual assistant that can help you maybe with your graphics. You can hire people on Fiverr, Fiverr.com for like one-off projects. I have a virtual assistant through Cyberbacker, whatever it is. We all know we're human. We can only be one place at one time. So don't overwhelm yourself. One other tip when you're doing research is don't just look at what other realtors are doing. Look outside our profession. Number one, we don't want to play the comparison game of like, wow, they're selling so many homes. They got this big luxury listing and I'm over here with this crappy first-time home buyer who is just like not understanding. They're bringing their uncle with on the showing. He's killing every deal. Like you're going to compare. Everyone's just posting their highlight reels. So stop watching realtors. Number two, because realtors aren't that great at social media. You might have a couple that you follow that are like really good at it, but other than that, you might be following people who aren't that great and taking inspiration from people that. So look outside of your industry, photographers, maybe it's a hairstylist, maybe it's someone who, I'm trying to think of like, I follow people who are business or entrepreneurs, anything outside of the real estate industry, and just think about how you can interpret that into real estate, right? So looking outside of the real estate industry. And then fuel. So you have touch programs within Command, how you're contacting people. You can run Facebook ads through Command, which is the only place you can run really good housing ads. So Jordan is not paying me to say this. Command is like amazing with Facebook ads. So utilize the Facebook ads on Command. If you don't already, take some of like Nick Baldwin's trainings. He has some amazing ones. He's got free stuff all over KW Connect. There's trainings. But doing those, you can get really good leads and they go right into your Command database. And then you can set them up on a smart plan where it's systematically engaging with them. On your social media though, I would say set a time, again, time block that time where instead of like, hey, I was gonna go door knocking for this hour, I can then sit down for an hour and reach 10 times more people on the internet than I could walking up to the door, knocking, waiting for that person. Hopefully they're home. If they're not, then going back down the driveway, go to the next one, right? So use that time to systematically engage, set those in your goals. If you would set a goal for how many cold calls you're gonna make, set a amount of contacts you're gonna make on social media. Direct messaging is gonna be the best way. And then last but not least, create raving fans. So just being yourself, providing value and putting that authentic stuff out there. People are just going to connect with you and relate with you and you're gonna love it. Like if you're sharing, actually, I'm just use my assistant team leader as an example. She is a horrible cook and she'll post like her recipe fails, like she can't even cook a frozen pizza. It's hilarious, but she has so many people that love watching that content. So same with like my dad jokes. There's different ways of doing it, but really instead of like obsessing over how to be this cool person, just be the cool person you already are. People will love it. So if you leave here today and only remember one thing, come from contribution. We're providing value, and then we go for the sell. Okay. Any questions on that? I could guide in a lot of directions if you have time.
Question time. Ask away.
What I think I asked most of my questions in the middle of it. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Go ahead.
But what are some of the services you provide?
Yeah. So, so there's 3 ways you can work with me. Number 1 is my Realtor's Guide to the Gram. So it is a 7-week course. I am relaunching it. I did my first live back in November, December. I'm relaunching it so you can watch it at any time and go through at your own pace. End of January. So I have a discount code for you all. Second is I do monthly services. So I just do all of your monthly social media, it's a monthly management fee. I have 3 different packages for that. I will set my discovery call and again, another perk for you guys for being here today. And then the third is booking a one-time audit and strategy consultation. So what that is I go through all of your social media that you currently have, and I say, here's what you're doing well, here's what you need to work on, and here's a strategy moving forward. So I'll dive through and do that audit and we'll sit down on Zoom and do a 30-minute consultation where I teach you that too. So a lot of people like to start with the audit and strategy, the $250 one-time fee. And then from there, if then you're like, I still don't want to do this, then you decide to use me for monthly services, I will knock that $250 off your first month. So it's an easy kind of in. So the Realtor's Guide to the Gram, my course, if you email the code KWMarco100 to jennyfriday7@gmail.com, you will receive $100 off the course for being awesome and for having me here. I want you guys to take that picture quick. And then, oh, yep. And then. Oh, sorry. No, I wasn't sure if you're asking me. So then again, the monthly done for you services. If you commit in January to working with me, you will get your onboarding fee of $295 waived. So I do have a discovery call where if you're like, I don't know, I want to learn more, you can book it. Again, the strategy and consultation, here are just a few testimonials from some of my amazing clients. But this QR code will lead you to my website. On there, you can book a call directly with me. Otherwise, in email or text for call to book it, and we can go through it from there. Get it? Thank you for being here. No.
Your presentation, I think you put a lot of it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Any other questions, you guys? You think you're like, I can't wait for February now. I have the ideas, right? Another thing you guys can do is do these brainstorming sessions together. Like set up in your training room, be like, hey, who wants to like plan out content for a month together? And you could go to these restaurants together, like, hey, who wants to go film? Like we're collaborative at KW, right? So work together on these things. You can, like maybe you can't come up with these brainstorm ideas all on your own. set a time like a week before every month where you guys meet in here and just be like, okay, guys, what do we think of March? What's coming up in March? What do we want to talk about? And help each other, bounce ideas off each other, because it's likely that you have different audiences anyways. But even if you're sharing the same restaurant, like that's not, nobody's gonna decide to work with you off of that one same restaurant post agent, right? So,
Yeah, a lot of realtors that partner like that together, or they partner with other like lenders, different things like that, that are
Yeah.
also on that same journey of social media. I just want to share a takeaway, for the group. Like, I don't know, I think it's almost, you know, that there's the saying like fishing, like with a shotgun, it's like, it's just so unfair. It's like fishing with a shotgun. Like this,
Okay.
to me, social media is the same way. Like it's just so unfair in a way that we can have fun with social media and attract business. Like, doctor, I mean, I'm not comparing myself to a doctor or individual yet. They can't have fun like that
yeah,
and get customers. We can. So that's kind of
heck
neat.
yeah,
It's a lot more fun than going door to door.
way more fun.
Doing things that you don't enjoy doing. So, that was my big takeaway, was that piece. And then, like you said at the end, always provide value, reach more people when you leverage social media. And then, I don't think you said it this way, but just don't overconsume it. Don't, when you're brainstorming on it, don't get stuck an hour later still brainstorming.
Yeah.
But really, you're just watching
Yeah,
cats.
it's the only brainstorming for so long. Although, like I said, I learned a lot from TikTok, so. Also, I'll say TikTok friends come over Instagram friends. So if you're hearing audio on TikTok, it's not yet on Instagram Reels. It's going to be trending on there after. It's a little slower. It's just yeah. Well, thank you guys for being here today. Really appreciate it. Great audience.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jordan, for
My pleasure.
connecting.
Rose, you can stop.